G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 20 of my Lightning Deceiver playthrough with Dave the Deceiver here. Last episode we did the left-hand side of Homestead and Pine Barrens, and this episode we are going to continue up, well it's not really the coast, but we're going to continue up into the hills, do the snowy bit, and just kind of see how far we get here. Before that though, I do have some quests to turn in here, so let's go ahead and do that, and then we can be on our way there. This quest, you can definitely do this. It involves going into the Aether Fire area, which is why I generally don't do it when I'm recording. I find I get a lot of comments from people when I do it, who say, oh, I tried to follow what you did and I ended up on the Aether Fire and now I'm dead. So that's why I kind of don't go in here super often. And I'm actually going to not do it this time as well. There is a devotion shrine out there which we don't need. There is a totem out there which we don't really need. There is Port Valbury out there, which, I mean, friends don't let friends go to Port Valbury. And that's kind of it. The Storm Herald doesn't come from that particular Aetherfire hellhole. So it's kind of not really worth going out there for this character. Aside from I want to do Port Valbury or I want to do it for completion's sake, that there isn't really a great reason for it. So I will be skipping it. I will be taking my previously saved Black Legion stuff there. And I think I had, yeah, Barnabas, and was there another one? There doesn't look like there was. So let's go turn this one in. This turn-in is worth a decent amount of Devil's Crossing reputation. Let me just double check and make sure I haven't missed any. Nope, I still have my writ here. Am I missing any others? It doesn't look like it. I am only short on Barrowhome and the Witch Cults, so that's fine. Okay, this should be done. I guess I have to talk to Douglas now? And then potentially come back. So I may have to make a couple of trips here, but it's worth it for the reputation. Devil's Crossing just there, and then if we go back and run on over to Barnabas again, there we go. There we go. Okay, so basically 2.6k Devil's Crossing reputation, 750 Homestead rep, and I mean realistically some components, but who cares? That's a lot of reputation. I've got, what have I got? 6,000 out of 15,000. So about a half, I guess. Just shy of half of my reputation there is from that one quest there, or two quests. Okay, I do see this commander here, and I do want to kill the commander because there we go. They drop flesh warp stuff. I am wearing a flesh warped chest and also the shoulders. So if I, for example, happen to get a really nice pair of shoulders, I would swap them in. This is not quite as good as what I have, so no thank you very much. And with that said, let's double check my chaos. Yep, we are more than capped. What am I missing? Oh, I haven't picked up Fulgrim yet. I went and picked him up, but I didn't talk to him. Okay, I will speak to the emissaries. We are, I think, with Kaiman. Yeah, we're going to stay with Kaiman's idiots. I prefer Death Vigil, but yeah, we'll do something different on this character. That's fine. Okay, the Necromancers don't like Inquisitors anyway. You can side with them as an Inquisitor. I think I mentioned this back in normal difficulty. You can sort of talk them into it, but they'll be giving you the side eye the whole time. Okay, I do want to clear this little part of the map. The totem is not here at the moment, but this is probably my second favorite place in the game for farming stuff on a fresh level 100 or level 94 or whatever level you actually are when you get to farming things. There's Perdition, because obviously it wouldn't be a Paikis playthrough without at least a couple of pieces of Perdition. And actually, probably not, but actually, is that empowered? It's empowered. level 65. Never mind. I'm not sure why I was thinking it might be mythical. There's no way it's level 94 at this point. But anyway, let's head on in here and we can pick up our quest. Once again, I'm stopping at the same point I did in normal, that being... well, we'll see. Maybe I will go into the Chthonian Rift. But at the moment, the plan is that I'm probably not going to do that one. It is decently rippy, and there isn't a great reason to go in there, honestly. Kaiman, just kill Death Vigil or Chthonians. We're going to be farming, like I said, this totem and the other ones in the Blood Grove here. They are all Chthonian totems. So we will get revered with them pretty quickly. And Nemesis with Death Vigil, yeah. It's kind of a case of who cares, but it's always good to have more Nemesis. I don't generally go looking for that particular one. Alright, I see Black Legion Insignia. So I'm up to 4 out of 5 now. That would be... Oh, I can get through here, cool. This one is going to be 5 out of 5. So I'm going to pop this wherever it is. There it is. And that's my 5 insignia, so I don't need to pick up any more. I'll probably forget at some point and pick them up. And I do want to press the W on him. Seal a binding. Very, very nice. And you know what? He's pretty much dead. Alright, we've got the farmers. Let's send them all back to Homestead. I don't need that, so I'm just going to ignore it. Same with that devotion shrine. I don't need it, so I'm going to ignore it. And I didn't pick up the Rover's quest, so I'm just not going in there. There is a red rift in here somewhere. And it's just going to stay hidden / closed. This is the other potential location for one of the totems. So I didn't notice it when I was coming past, but I think it's kind of along this edge here somewhere is another one. And there is another one over this way, but generally speaking, don't do that one. Whoa. Alright, let's take out Bolvar. I think I actually have to kill him for this quest line, so it's nice that I found him. What is the first quest, actually? Oh, the seals. Yeah, that's fine. I've almost certainly got more of those in the bank. Bolvar is now dead, and I'm 99% sure you have to kill him for Kaiman's idiots. So him being dead saves me a trip to find him later. Actually, sorry, the third location for that totem is actually down here. So this one, and then this one, and this one share a spawn. So that means there is definitely going to be one down here behind the waterfall. And since I'm in the area, I'll probably just go get it. This is not one that I would recommend farming. If you're just trying to smash out as many totems as you can, as quick as you can, then this one's not really worth doing. Just because it's such a long run, and it's just a regular, normal quality totem. It's not Forsaken, it's not Ancient. So, Shrine of the Forgotten Gods. I didn't notice a totem in here, actually, so I could have been mistaken there. There is, of course, the legendary, the weapon. We are an ultimate, so it is going to be a level 94 weapon. And that's going to be down here, at this little shrine. The totally normal bulwark, +1 to all of my skills in both masteries. It is a shame that we are using a monster infrequent weapon, and it's kind of the most important MI in the build. I could, I guess, dual wield and chuck it in the offhand, but that would also cost me my relic or another slot potentially. So I think I'll just leave that. a definite... it is shiny, though. I mean, just look at that. +1 to all occultist skills, +1 to all inquisitor skills. A Doombolt proc when I block, 20% chance. Yeah, not bad. I haven't looked too much into the final build I'm going to go for on this character. When I started this this particular series, I was actually thinking about a pistol character, and I've since talked myself out of that by trying it, and I've worked out that actually it's kind of a little bit rubbish. Okay, level 75 gets me another damage proc, because what I'm going to do is I have some boots of squalls, these ones, warding of squalls, so I'm going to gain some armor. I'm going to lose a little bit of physical resistance, kind of can't be helped. The movement speed I'm going to lose as well, but hey, 8% over capped, and these are giving me 8%, so I kind of don't care. Let's actually just toss those. Poison's still decent, so what I could do, I could put Mogdrogan's, Mark of Mogdrogan component on the boots, which would give me some more regen stuff. Health regen is 600. It's probably not really worth it. Other things I could be looking at is, I guess, Gollus rings. Gollus rings obviously having some nice regen bonuses. What else did I pick up? Bloodsworn vestments of the Cabal. No. These shoulders, definitely not. Oh, I see what's happening here. I've dumped a whole bunch of random loot in here while I've been playing. Okay, so no. As far as boots go, I do have these as well. Ground Smash is useless. Wind Shear is, it's alright. I don't think I'm going to use these. I don't think I'm going to use these either. These are absolutely better when it comes to resistances. But I think I'm good. The leg plates of Valor. I don't have the physique for these, but the armor increase would be nice. Yeah, I think I'm good. Do I have the recipe for Mogdrogan? Mark of Mogdrogan. I do not. Okay. That's fine. I will probably forget about it and just never do it. I'm actually going to hang on to that just in case. That being the level 94 version basically means you only get one per character, so I am going to keep that one just in case I end up wanting to use it. I'm not exactly sure what it is I'm going to be doing with this character just yet, so we'll hang on to it for now. And I'm not going to clear my rift. I am going to go ahead and get some seals though. Where are we? That one, 3 of those. So I'm going to keep going until I get to the top of Darkvale Gate. Then I'm going to go and turn in a whole bunch of Kaiman's Idiot's quests. And it's all just going to work out really, really well. The mill is done, so I'll have a whole bunch of Homestead stuff to turn in as well. Potential totem just here. So definitely worth exploring the map in that area. I will take that. Thank you very much. Alright, same deal just here. The fact that I haven't seen either of the 2 totems that I was just talking about tells me that there is going to be one in the village. So this totem is just kind of here-ish. And yeah, I had it the wrong way around. So it's this one. This Void Touch totem shares a spawn with behind the waterfall and down here. And then this one in here shares a spawn with somewhere over here and then over this way somewhere. Right, let's see if I can kill myself on another totem. Turn the loot off so I can see what's going on. And I guess I'll use Doombolt a little bit more. This is supposed to be a Doombolt build. I keep forgetting to push it as much as I can. It's also supposed to be a Stormbox build. There we go. This, I guess, is the issue I had with the pistol build as well. You have so many buttons and so many debuffs you have to apply. It's just, these are really nice boots. It becomes, I guess, a little bit difficult to remember to push the buttons that do damage. Alright, so we've got Relic Fortress. We don't have a shield. And even if you did, I don't know if I would use those. The Amatox step boots are actually really good. So when you get hit, it will do like an Ice Nova sort of thing. And basically, it freezes things that are around you for a second, which is really, really nice. Even for characters that are not playing cold builds, these boots are actually quite nice. Tempting to put them on, actually. I don't think I will, but it is tempting. And then we don't use random rare items except for boots and gloves. Once we have access to monster infrequents. Alright, and I think I remember saying that there was going to be a totem up here in the village as well, which is good. Okay, the game's still trying to catch up with all the messages here. In spite of all the time I spent standing there waffling. There we go, it has actually caught up. Good, good. Alright, let's just take the shortcut through the building here. Did I get the lore note down here on the way through in normal? Yes, I did. Okay. I do kind of want to kill a whole bunch of these cultists. Because, yeah, there we go, because they drop those. I was kind of expecting another one from Old Mate there, but apparently he left his in his other wallet. There's my totem. Love to see that. And of course, I am going to do my usual trick going through the village of making sure I get this free dynamite, and then also making sure I hit the treasure trove, because there is one here that is always here. And I like loot, so I am going to absolutely make sure I hit that. I'm also going to clear the area around this totem before I activate it. I would say I learned my lesson from the that ancient savage totem last episode, but I don't think I did. Checking here for the treasure trove that isn't there. And let's turn the loot off before we get too far into this. Alright, throw some curses around, push the W button, throw another storm box on Old Mate here. Word of pain on everybody. And just try to remember to hit the Doombolt button every now and again. Storm boxes every now and again. Alright, a couple blues. And a Glyph of Wayward Souls. Okay, movement rune. Probably not so great. Third Company Revolver. What do we got here? Physical damage. Actually not horrible. Got attack speed on it. Some armor stuff. And we have the Mutagenic Sigil. An epic ring. Not going to be using those. Okay, still haven't found the treasure trove, so is it here? No, it is not. Which means I know exactly where it is now. There's only one spot left. It's here. Only got the 5 dynamites left, but that's fine. And now it's time to fight Zarya. Now, this is basically a totem at this point. It's loot. I don't need devotion points. Zarya, however, I'm going to wait for my Inquisitor Seal to come back because I'm silly. And I put it out early. And there we go. I didn't actually notice the crystals, but I was busy looking at my hotbars, so I may have missed that. Also, let's go ahead and do this. Because once again, I really enjoy loot, Let's finish it up with the Doom Bolt. There we go. Love to see the Doom Bolt. And what do we get for loot? Apothecary's Wisdom, which I'm not really sure why that exists. Elixir of the Hunt is pretty good. Let's go ahead and eat these blueprints before I get duplicates. And we can just pick the rest of this up. It's going to be some lovely, lovely loot. There we go. Poke our head inside, get the rift gate, and then we'll go see the rovers. Go, where are the rovers? Old Arcovia. Still getting reputation with the Outcast, so we'll see. We're now up to Honored. I think this was last episode. I went back to normal to get the writ. So decent little bit of progress there. It's not going to be huge. It's not going to be amazing, but it's decent. All right, I'm just checking gloves and potentially boots. I'm looking for resistances more than anything else. Well, yeah. I'm not super expecting anything amazing. What do we got here? Apothecary's Ring, no. And the Mutagenic Sigil. That is actually a lot of Aether and Bleeding resistance. And then Physique is always good. Casting speed, pretty good. So, I mean, maybe if you need Aether resistance, this could be alright. I don't need it at present, so I'm going to go ahead and sell it. Same with the rest of this stuff. Not really what I'm after. These are actually really good. So if I wasn't allergic to giving gear to my alts, I would absolutely chuck that in the bank. Unfortunately for my alts, I am kind of allergic to it, so that's fine. They get nothing. Mark of Mogdrogan. I may as well grab the rest of the stuff here while I'm at it. Restless Remains, sure. Don't really care for the rest of that. Let's go make a Mark of Mogdrogan. Chuck it on the boots. Mark of Mogdrogan is not amazing. It's kind of like an upgraded Mark of the Traveler here. So we get % health, which is honestly the biggest bonus there. And some regen bonuses. Not great bonuses, but not horrible either. What's that? 4 ward stones. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Mogdur. There we go. Get some extra movement speed, get a little bit of extra regen, and the 5% health is probably the biggest bonus there. So my health regen's up to 670-ish now. I think it was was it 640 before? I forget. Either way, it's not a massive bonus, but it's not nothing either. Okay, and I know there's at least one person out there who's screaming at the screen that I need to spend my skill points. So let's go ahead and do that. Where was I spending them? I think I got this up to 5 points last episode. And I'm just looking around. I am tempted to dump a few more into this just for the extra offensive ability. I think, though, I want 5 points or so in Curse of Frailty. And then this is what I should do. This is the responsible choice. Either that or this one here for flat health and armor. Or this one. Honestly, that is the responsible choice. I might actually hold on to those. Don't really have any great need to spend them, so just leave them for the moment. When I hit 76, I'll go, ooh, shiny, and spend them on Curse of Frailty, bring it up to 5, but until then, I think I'm good. Alright, Captain Soma, I found your idiots. And Old Maid over here, I found your dead scouts. Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits. And then Sergeant Sareve, I have your lumber mill cleared out. Hang on. But I already did that. I guess you gotta have the quest to get it updated. That's a little bit frustrating. Not particularly surprising, but frustrating. And I need to, once again, grab those out. Alright, we'll go talk to Kaiman's Chosen. I have just got to a new rift gate, so I will reset. I'll check all those totems again, and I'll go clear the mill. Brother Effluvius? That sounds very, very close to another word with an F in there. Okay, what do you need? What do you need? I've already done it. Oh, Ravok, yes. I remember Ravok. Okay. Let's exit to menu. I am going to do a quick run, like I said, through those Chthonian totems again. One, because it's a really good way to farm, and also because reputation for various factions. So this one's here, lovely. It does mean that I'm not going to have the easy run to get 2 totems, potentially 3. But this is okay. I can run down here. It is just a regular totem, which I don't love. But it's kind of whatever. Blade Guard leggings, not enough resistances in my opinion. Also quite low on armor. Armor. Physical resistance that isn't physical resistance. Right, let's pop this. And did I see Reflect going up there? Yeah, he's reflective. Okay. So let's just kill him with the not Doombolt buttons. There we go. I heard a bong. What do we got? Double rare. Rampage of Arcane Law. Okay. Ordinarily, I would say this is complete trash and you should sell it. That is what I'm going to do with it. But this is not complete trash. This has 3 good resistances on it. If this was on a Flesh Warp Plate Mail, I would be incredibly happy because that would be 5 good resistances on it. Flesh Warp Plate Mail comes with Pierce, and I'm 90% sure Chaos? Yeah, it has to be Chaos as well. So yeah, it would be 5 good resistances plus 3 to vulnerability. That would be really, really nice. So even though it's not amazing, it could still be decently good. It's not, but it could have been. Okay, so Bloodgrove. When I'm coming here, okay, I've already killed the first totem, so this one is not going to be here. I know the one behind the waterfall is not going to be here. I'm checking for this one. Sometimes you have to move for it to kind of load in. Alright, it's not there, so that's fine. The other one I'm checking for is going to be over this way. It's either going to be by the mill, it's going to be over here, or it's going to be up in the village. Now, if it is in the village, I think I'm going to skip it. It's not in the village. I found it already. So this one is right next to the mill. And I do like loot still. That hasn't changed in the last 3 or 4 minutes. So we'll turn the loot off. Go ahead and park myself right here. And throw some storm boxes out as well. Alright, I think we're looking good here. There's level 76, and you know what? Ooh, shiny. So that's 6.1 meters. So we are doubling our radius, which means the area of the circle went from like this big to more like this big. So 5 points is pretty good. Alright, what do we got? Mage Lord Greaves, no. Final March, another actually good pair of boots, but no. Flamebrand is a definite no, although if you were playing Fire or Aether, that could be good for that proc. Myrmidon Chestguard had potential until I saw the lack of resistances. Amaras and Pauldrons. Chance to avoid projectiles is nice. Offensive, defensive is nice. The armor value is low. 2 resistances, not amazing, so all of this is, unfortunately, vendor trash. Okay, and something I'm going to do that's really, really weird is come in the side here, spawn all this, and then run out the front. These things have way too much in the way of health. Alright. That's done. Let's go get Ravok. Ravok? I don't know how you say that. Sounds almost like gravy powder. Gravox. Okay, Rime Frost of attack. Probably not. No. This is a decent chunk of offensive ability. I think I'm just selling that though. Alright, staying out of the mine this time. It is a really nice source of Aether Crystals. But since we're in Ultimate, if I ever want Aether Crystals, I will just go farm Warden Krieg's Laboratory. And I will have all the Aether Crystals I could ever possibly want. And it'll just kind of be fine. That's still fun, by the way. Push the W button and just delete everything in a small area. I'll take that. Actually, believe it or not, I wasn't actually trying to Doombolt that guy. I don't regret it, but I was not trying to. Okay, we do have priests in here, which I definitely do not love. So I'm going to make my way through here. The other side, if I'd gone down this way, there's a guaranteed dynamite that way. So that might have been a better idea to go that way. Not that it really matters, I'm just going to loop around, and I'll still get my, my guaranteed dynamites. It'll just... You know what? I'll dip in here now. No, it's not that way, actually. Sorry. I was talking rubbish. They both come out to the same place, and then you have dynamite here. And then there's, I think, 2 more up here near the boss. G'day, Ravok, if that really is your name. Here you go, have your own Inquisitor seal to stand in. There we go. I got 1 proc out of Korvax. Okay, Death Watcher Pendant of the Arcane Blaze. If I was playing an Aether build, I would consider using that, just for the proc. Probably wouldn't actually use it because bad resistances, but maybe. Okay, Ravok is dead. I think this is the last quest I generally do for Kaimans. Let's see what they send me to do next. And then I can kind of decide from there. Okay, Brother Effluvius, I have slain the Necromancer. Father Kaiman, I see, thank you. Okay, so this is the handoff to the second guy. Let's go ahead and vendor all of this as well. Actually, I should be looking at gloves and maybe boots. They're not horrible. Good resistances, otherwise kind of whatever. Similar story for these. Movement speed, okay resistances, elemental stuff. Not amazing. What were those gloves, actually? Arcane Might, okay. So we've got Mighty instead of Stanching. I need the bleeding resist, so that's a no from me. We can ditch the blues, although these are actually pretty good for resistances as well. Don't need helmets for sure. Shoulder guards, probably not. Let's have a quick look. Nope. And pet stuff. Okay. Don't think I need any ring replacements just yet. Okay. Let's talk to Father Kaiman himself. What is Empyrean's will? Okay, Ashes, yeah. So Ashes I will do, and then when he sends me into the Chthonic Plane, we may have to part ways at that point. With that said, though, let's go ahead and jump into Darkvale Gate. So we have a tentacle monster at the end of this one to take care of, and they're sending me on the scenic route, which can be quite good, actually, if you are trying to chase Chthonian seals. I am going to miss out on the hidden loot underneath the bridge. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to go double back and pick it up. Hated with the Chthonians is pretty good. So you just saw the wall fall apart here. Character once again not knowing how stairs or bridges and such work. We can just leave that guy behind. He'll be fine all by himself. So I'm basically just running through, putting Word of Pain on everybody. I haven't played Word of Pain for quite a while, before this character, that is. And it was my belief that Word of Pain falls off really, really hard. And it is now my belief that if I had got Monster Infrequents that buffed Word of Pain instead of everything else, yeah, I could absolutely use this all the way to 100. It's probably not great for killing bosses. That's definitely true. Evoker of Elgaloth would be something to have a look at. But yeah, it's perfectly fine. +2 to all Inquisitor skills. What else we got? It's lightning damage, fizz to lightning, attack speed, lightning tether, +2 to all, and chain lightning. This would not be horrible as just something to hold on to, even if you never actually shoot it at anything. Where you going, Balvadar? He looked like he was trying to run away. Okay, and I think we are done there. Let's get down to the next level. I didn't see the totem. I didn't notice the totem, so I'm kind of hoping it's on this floor. It's not looking good though, so I'm pretty sure it's here. There is one more spot at the end of this little hallway, but I think it would have shown up already. Yeah, it's definitely not here. Okay, that's fine. We will just live without the totem. It's going to be fine. All right. So this Falnosh is the boss coming up here, and he's probably one of the scarier bosses in the campaign, in my opinion. Having said that, he died pretty easily last time, so maybe this is just me being a little bit paranoid, but I have lost characters to him, characters that I thought were actually quite strong, and so I'm a little wary of him. So what I want to do, I know he's going to curse me, I know he's going to be reducing my everything resistance, I think. Definitely he's going to be shredding Vitality and Chaos. I think I'm going to be fine. Genuine or general consensus on endgame overcaps say Chaos. Chaos, Aether, and Elemental should all be 30% over the cap, which I am. Pierce and Bleed don't need to be overcapped at all. Vitality should be 40, which I have. And Poison and Acid should also be 40. So 30s, 40, doesn't matter, 40, 30s. And I have all of those, so I'm basically done for endgame overcaps. Obviously, I'm going to change gear at level 94 and probably before then. So I should be able to just walk in and kill him and not worry about his resistance shredding. So let's give that a shot. I am worried about the tentacles, if nothing else. But I also kind of have a feeling I think it'll be fine. Let's put a storm box on him. Just watching the Curse of Frailty there. Now, I have a Curse of Frailty on me as well. And everything except Poison and Acid is actually capped. So I do need to kind of be wary of Poison and Acid stuff, but otherwise, I think I'm good. Alright. So I'm keeping an eye on Curse of Frailty timer, keeping an eye on the Stormbox timer. I am definitely holding down Doombolt, and I'm standing in goop there as well, so once he dies, make sure to get out of the goop. Hasn't dropped me a ring. Oh wait, no, there it is. Impervious of the Wild, that's actually pretty good. 3 good resistances on a pet ring with a pet suffix, a rare pet suffix. That's a pretty good ring for a pet character, I guess, to level with. Hellborn, no. Actually looks pretty cool though. Wave of fire, chance on attack to do fire damage. Yep. This is a fire strike build. Fire strike gun. Alright, don't get too blinded by the loot here. I say this every time I come through. It's mostly to remind myself that if you don't run out here and get the Rift Gate, then you have to do the entire castle again. Alright, get the Rift Gate, then worry about killing other stuff. You have way too much health. This one, not so much. Alright, this is a nice little fight that I'm going to go ahead and involve myself in because, well, you saw. The Chthonian sigils, definitely worth doing. I think there's sometimes a crystal there as well, so you can get Aether crystals. Let's go for a run here. We're up to 40 minutes already, so I'm not going to do too much more, but I may just run up the coast here, get to Fort Ikon perhaps, and we can continue next episode. Got a little bit of time though, so let's see how far we can get. Throw an Inquisitor Seal in the door there. Inquisitor Seal, not really known for super high damage, but it does do damage. And also triggers the Korvac Devotion. I do see that totem. Yeah, let's go do the totem. Why not? Why not? Alright, I'll take the scrap. I'm going to turn the loot off, and this is a savage totem, so please no shamblers. Okay, this is good. There's no shamblers here. This is good. That Aether Pool is not quite so good. But that's fine. There we go. Alright, so we got a purple. What is it? The Fiend Scale Jacket. I do use that a decent amount when I'm leveling. Obviously, it's not going to be great for this character. So what do we got? Aether Resistance and, I mean, Bloody Pox skill points. And then Contagion. When you get hit, they get a slightly different named Bloody Pox applied to them. Cool. Alright, and I think we're done here. Obviously, I am going to go and say hello to Childred. Has a lot of gear named after him, actually. Thunder Touch braces, maybe. Let's have a look at those. So we got Lightning Bolt, chance on attack. That's going to go off a decent bit more than that Elemental Seal. Now the question is, do I have enough bleeding resistance? And the answer is not even close. So as much as I would love to wear these, although the armor is kind of not great, as much as I would love to wear these, I don't think I'm going to be able to. I have bleeding resist here. If I had enough physique. My pants, actually, I need a little bit of Aether from my pants. At the worst case, I could drop a Black Tallow, because I have 2 of them, and put a Wrathstone, or not a Wrathstone, Aether Soul. I could put an Aether Soul on either my amulet or my medal. But I think I'm just going to maybe survive without it. Okay, so Bone Chill, let's go ahead and Doombolt a lot of this little stuff to get rid of it. There we go, got the big boy. And a bunch of goblins. It's kind of whatever. Alright, let's push on here. Grab this Rift Gate. I guess we just keep going, actually. Yeah, let's just push on up to Fort Ikon here. Do these guys drop the Ascended Vestments? I don't think so. But I'm going to kill them anyway, and just see if they drop anything. He says, running away, not even looking. Alright, so I lied there. I lied. Absolutely. Didn't even look. They could have dropped them and I just wouldn't have seen it. The number of procs on this character at the moment is still a little bit low, but it is nice to see all those little lightning orbs and the elemental sword go flying out. There's a nice amount of things going on. I do appreciate it.
I can't do that yet.
Alright, Tomb of Korvac is really, really good for farming. What are we calling them? Chthonic seals. You, stop that. There we go. Alright, this one is, it says it's sealed by Chthonic energies. This is the Rover's legendary quest, or honored quest, sorry. So, I don't need that, so I'm not going to. But that quest is not horrible. I am going to come up here and grab this totem, though. This is another area that I do sometimes farm. Mostly just for a little bit of variation, if nothing else. You do get tired of farming the same areas over and over again, or at least I do. Having said that, I do really also enjoy the Gloomwald. Right, let's pop that. And one more word of pain. Everything should be dead now. There we go. Last one. 2 purples. All right. Invoker's Burning Hand. I was about to say this isn't horrible, but then I saw that the big resistance was fire resistance. It's kind of bad. Alzorn's set is pretty good. Not for this build, but it is pretty good. And Outlaw's Retribution, no, we're not doing guns. Not yet, anyway. The Notched Bone of 1,000 Deaths. Why do I have the feeling that one is, oh, it's an axe. I thought that might have been the wand that's basically some guy's forearm and his middle finger sticking up. That's disappointing. I tried to word of pain them from the top of the cliff, and game said no. That's alright. I'll run over here, and you. Oh, that was very painful. I knew there was a chance that he might do that. I was hoping I could get him before he put the reflect up. It's nice to know that I'm not going to blow myself up with one reflected Doombolt, though. That is definitely nice to know. Alright, so I want to come up here and just clear this spot out as well, so as I can see the totem if it spawns there from the Rift Gate. So, actually, let me show you that. I know most of you have probably seen this, but I'm going to just show it off anyway. So, I mentioned that Sora's Bastion checked for the southeast totem, and then over to Bloodgrove. If you found the totem at Sorrow's Grove, then you will not have a totem here, and you will not have a totem here. I didn't see it, but I didn't really check either. From there, or from here, you can sometimes see a totem here. Sometimes see this one. Sometimes these show up. Usually you have to run a little ways. But basically there's 2, maybe 3 totems in this area. Then we can jump up to the Astrakhan Valley here. And if I just step to the side, there we go, we can see that one. We can also see this one, and we can also see this one. They're all in view of this Rift Gate. So I do like this one for farming. But that is going to be a problem for later, or a thing we do later. Okay, got him empowered, I mean, pet stuff, but there are worse things to get than a whole bunch of pet stuff. It is a little bit frustrating, though, when you're playing not a pet build. Okay, I've learned from my previous mistakes. The hidden loot is down here. But I'm not going to show it, so then that way, if I'm wrong by a little bit, I don't look quite as silly. Of course, now that I've told you that, everyone's going to think I'm silly anyway. Which is fair enough. Alright, we've pretty much made it to Fort Ikon. I'm going to do the fight for the Rift Gate, and then that will be the end of today's episode. I don't really have any major gear changes to make, so that's pretty much it. Let's turn the loot off, and we can just sort of throw Inquisitor's seals and Word of Pain out there. And you know what? You guys look like you could use a good doom bolting. One of these guys is reflecting, right? Nope. They're all just exploding. Lovely. Alright, and loot-wise, we got the Scorch Rune leg wraps, which, no. Ascended Diadem is also kind of a no. Rift Warped Grasp. Okay. +2 to Doombolt. These are the gloves that I had before. So, unfortunately, they're still not better than the gloves I replaced them with, or the gloves that I replaced the gloves that I replaced them with. So, that's fine. Alright, that is going to be the end of this episode, just while I go ahead and vendor these. Either way, new series should be starting sometime this week. I've kind of decided what I'm doing, but I don't want to spoil it, so we'll see how that gets on. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.